Why is Cathie Wood buying almost $34 million more of Palantir stock? Let's discuss. So for those who don't know, I have a sizable position in Palantir, around 25,000. So I'm definitely deep into this company, definitely excited about this company, definitely interested in this company over the next 5-6 years to see how it plays out. And Cathie Woods is obviously someone who has a very, very big name in the context of Wall Street and finance and investing. And Palantir is about 2.8% of her portfolio in the ARK Innovation Fund, which is their sort of flagship ETF. Now, if you don't know who Cathie Wood is, which I'm sure you probably do if you clicked on this video, she's a legendary investor. She betted on Tesla when no one betted on Tesla, and now she's reaping the rewards of taking those risks. And ultimately, Palantir is one of those companies that is pretty exciting for Cathie Woods based on how she's talked about it before. Now, Palantir was at around $27 about like 4 days ago, and it dropped to about $22.18. I think it was as its lowest. So dropped a sizable amount, and the first day it dropped to like 23, and Cathie Wood bought like 1.5 million shares, and the next day it dropped to 22, and she bought like another 1.25 million. So she loaded up a lot of shares across multiple different ETFs that she has for Palantir. Now the question is why? Ultimately, like, why did she do this? What was the main reason for this? What was the sort of thing that she was thinking about when she did this? The first thing to understand is that Cathie Woods is an investor that has conviction. She's one of those badass people that just says, look, if this thing is going to go higher eventually, then if it's low right now, I'm not going to be afraid to go deeper into it, because why not, right? Like if it's at a low price, that's just like, all right, I'm buying sort of free money for the future. So one of the core sort of elements to understand about her strategy is that if it's low and people are short-terming the stock, meaning they're not understanding the long-term potential, and if it has a not so good earnings, which it had a very good earnings in my opinion, not like out of the ballpark, but like it beat all expectations, and people are going to undervalue the stock, then she's just going to buy more. So when the stock dipped that much, I bought another $3,000 of it, or like another 3,500 of it, because I was like, this is stupid, this is absolutely ridiculous, like, well, I don't know why it's dropping this low. And I think Cathie had that same mentality. The real thing to understand though is that this is 14th in her ARK ETF, right? I think she has like 47 stocks in there. So you're talking about something that's almost in the top 10, and she has about $570 million of stock of this company, right? So it is a massive position for Cathie Woods, and I think she's likely in the green still because her average was so low, and now the average is getting lower and lower and lower as the stock price decreases. I think the main reason that Cathie Woods is buying the company versus sort of buying other companies, well, there's two. Obviously the dip, so she's like going all in on the dip. But number two is how she thinks about inflation, right? So Cathie thinks that AI and innovation ultimately is a deflationary event. Now, why is it a deflationary event? It is a deflationary event because when you innovate things, prices naturally go down over time, right? There's more innovation, there's more things going into the system. So it is sort of like a macro level economic argument that as innovation increases, inflation decreases, deflation happens because there's so much more process efficiency and effectiveness within the macro level economic system that there doesn't need to be a reason for why prices would be going up at that point. So she not only is doubling down on her thesis that when people are short-terming a stock, you should be longing a stock, and you should buy when people are extremely fearful of what's going on right now, sort of like, buy low, sell high, kind of like the core thesis of investing. But number two is because she believes that deflation is ultimately going to happen, and inflation and the 6.2% inflation that we're seeing right now is transitory, that there are certain companies that are likely going to accelerate that deflationary effect, which is going to be, I think, obviously Palantir with its AI and its innovation and its ability for companies to leverage its data to make better effective decision-making modules and simulations within their company, which is going to macro level the entire world, given how big Palantir gets, to innovate more and to use artificial intelligence more, which is going to deflate the dollar a lot more, given the dollar is inflating a little bit right now. This is important given Cathie Woods' thesis. So, I think that's sort of my analysis for why she's buying it. Obviously, she's buying it because of the dip, but I also think she's really buying it because she recognizes that this is one of those companies that is going to accelerate more deflationary efforts, and they're going to be rewarded for that in the stock price in the long term, which is why she's ultimately going double down on it. If none of that made sense, then what did make sense is that she's buying the dip. And I think most people, when they have real conviction on a company, should probably buy the dip. So that's it on this video. Let me know if you guys have any more thoughts and comments and what you guys think about what's going on with Palantir and Cathie Woods right now. If you have any suggestions for different videos, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one.